Hello, welcome back. Hope you had a great Labor Day. We are in week 3, but this is a short video with some comments from week 2. A really good week. Everyone has a handle on the discussion questions and the peer responses, so I appreciate that. Reemphasize that the more you can make it your own, the more you connect your personal experience to the material in the book, I think the stronger the material will be to you, and the peer responses similarly, that everyone will be able to see your learning experiences and learn from those and incorporate into their own organizations and lives. A few comments. Uh, Mention the call centers and recording the call centers, various conversations for training and quality purposes. I think you found that on a lot of calls that you made into customer service or anytime you speak to someone on the phone. Those can be invaluable. It's one thing to sit there and tell someone how they should react to a question and the various options, but to have them face it under real-time pressure or see how people respond, see the good responses, as well as seeing the oops, didn't quite mean to say that or go in that direction. Outstanding training values, just like doing it in the videos that several people talked about. I think in the videos you might find that people don't like being recorded. If you're going to go down and monitor a job site and record the video and things, people get very nervous. Sometimes they're putting on a show for the camera. Sometimes they're acting differently for the camera. Things they would not normally do, they now start doing, like following the rules. So sometimes video recording can be a little difficult, very tricky. So I wanted to mention several of you are citing no in your postings. That's not really necessary. If you have an outside source, website or something, please cite those, but you don't need to specifically cite something in no when you're putting it into your writing. I appreciate that. Chad mentioned in one of his uh, postings that trainees need to be held accountable for their training. Taking a test at the end of it, something to validate that they were paying attention and taking notes, even so far as having an event occur after the training. And there's a element of fear, I think, among employees that of retaliation or getting in trouble. So they're not always forthcoming with the real reasons that things happened or things like that. So if you can figure out how to remove that fear factor, short story from the Human Performance, as it was working over at Alcoa, a operator had performed something per a very vague instruction, didn't know it at the time, but using his best judgment, his actions resulted in blowing up a furnace down for about 3 days. Plant manager came out and said that there will be no discipline assigned to anyone in this. We want to find out what happened. And they found out what happened. It's a very poorly written instruction. It left the actions kind of up to the employee without any guidance. So I'll mention some more of these poor instructions and things further on and talking human performance. But to remove the element of fear, have people speak honestly, because that's what you really want. People do the things they do at the time they do it for reasons that make perfect sense to themselves. Human performance, you need to find out what those reasons are and correct them. Safety videos, BNSF. I just brought back to me my time at Deere. Deere has 4 marching principles, I guess, guide the company. Safety, quality, cost, and delivery. And the more I thought about those, the more I just think they kind of make a box. And if you're operating in that box, then you have procedures and you have help and everything. But when you get outside that box, the oops, out of process or something, you're now in an area that an operator, an individual may not be able to handle the situation, facing new challenges, time they need to stop and seek help. But it always impressed me that safety, quality, cost, and delivery operating within a box. So I pass that on to you for the non-Deere employees to think about that. What kind of parameters, what kind of boundaries can you imagine for yourselves at your organizations? In Tony's posting, she talked about the goal of behavior becoming automatic. That's a good goal. In human performance, they talk about that as being in a skill-based type performance mode, that you do something so often that it becomes some second nature. Something like driving from work to home. Anyone ever driven at home? Kind of woke up and say, "Oh, I'm at home. I wonder how I got here." You did. It was automatic. Your mind, your body, everything performed, whether your mind was actually thinking about it or not. But some of those things happen that way, and you would like to be able to train people to follow instructions, know what's right if they don't have those instructions with them, to stop and ask questions. Now, lastly, I guess I'm going to say that leading into Chapter 3, I gave you the Southwest Airlines article on the steep learning curve. I think that's really applicable to this week. But if you remember, in the past year, Southwest Airlines had a couple other incidents. Engine failure, broke a window, sucked a passenger out of the plane. A week or two later, there was another incident of severe turbulence in the aircraft and things. And if you read the news articles on those things, and you look at it from the training and development aspect, to think about the organization that was put in place to handle those all across the nation. Southwest agents were in action, taking human relations actions regarding the passengers, answering questions, reimbursements, taking care of people and things. And I mean, this was like within hours after the events that occurred. So try to find those articles and get them posted for you so you could read them. But it really impressed me of an organization that had really thought out risk management, disaster control. What do I do when? How do I do it? How do I coordinate all these people? So again, great week coming up. Thank you for your efforts. Really good postings. One last favor to ask, and it was a little mixed up in the first week of personal introductions, but I would like to see your pictures in the avatars in Blackboard. It's kind of nice reading something and looking at someone's face as opposed to the person behind the screen. So I think 3 or 4 of you haven't put your picture up there, so please do that. And if you are unfamiliar with that process, please give me a call and I'll walk you through it. Again, thank you very much for your efforts. Hope you had a great Labor Day and have a good week.